Yo!
What are you doing on the internet?
Scrolling mindlessly through guitar content perhaps, instead of doing what you should be doing, which is practicing your instruments. I know, because I do that all the time. But let's change it for today, okay? Let's be better than we were yesterday. Let's learn how to do this lick. So basically what we've got here is a tapping lick. I came up with this idea when I was listening to this Sophie Burrell kind of like intro jam thing that she was doing on a video, and I was just noodling over the top of it, and this kind of sort of organically came out. It doesn't really matter so much what I'm playing, I just hope you get some inspiration from it. Today we're basically playing like a major arpeggio and tapping upper extensions with the right hand. So it's in the key of F. That's essentially what we're grabbing. I'll talk you through the frets, and then I'm going to talk through the notes in terms of intervals, so we get a good idea of what's actually going on here. The notes are going to be like this. They're going to be root here on the F, then we're going to play a major second above it, then they're going to play a major third above that, and that's all on the A string. The notes that I'm grabbing there are going to be 8th fret, 10th fret, 12th fret on the A string, okay? Then the next string we skip over a string, so we ignore the D string, we go straight to the G string here. Frets that we play are going to be the 9th, 10th and 12th on this. In terms of intervals, you've got major 7th, octave, and then that's the 9th, where the pinky lands on the 12th fret there. And then we string skip again, so we ignore the B string, we go straight to the high E. 8, 10, 12 there. In terms of intervals, that's perfect 5th, major 6th, and then major 7th, where the pinky finger ends on the 12th fret. So that's the basic run of it. I'm sure you've come across that shape a lot of times in your own guitar adventures and travels. And that's actually quite fun to practice just as like an alternate picking exercise. Cool thing about this riff is that this left hand pattern never really changes in terms of the frets, at least. The rhythmic thing that's going on does kind of modulate a little bit. First part of it, the first run with this hand goes something like this. Real slowly it'll be. So we begin with the tap, which is going to be up here on the 15th fret. So that's with the middle finger. You're going to pull down and away with that, and then you should have this shape already kind of set up with the pinky, middle and index like that, and you're just going to go tap, pull, pull, pull. Okay, 15th fret, 12th fret, 10th fret, 8th fret, hammer back up to the 10th, hammer back up to the 12th, and hammer again on the 15th with the middle finger. So that's going to go. Okay, and the only interval that you're adding here is the perfect 5th with that middle finger tap. Then hammer, 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 index, middle, pinky on the G string there. But then you're going to change the fret that you're tapping this time. So this one is going to be the 14th fret on the G, and that's going to get the major third interval, or I suppose in this case it's actually like the 10th above because we've gone up the octave there. So is what we've got so far. Then on the high E string, we're gonna go hammer, 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 8, 10, 12. It's just always the same kind of frets that we're talking about in the left hand for this. And then I use my third finger a lot here. You can use whatever finger you want. I wouldn't advise going for it with the pinky just yet. That's kind of mad. And then that's gonna go hammer, 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 tap up on the 15th fret there. This tap note here is the 9th, okay? So let me run you through that nice and slow. Cool. And then to descend the pattern, we're just very simply going to go like this. Pull, 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 hammer, pull, 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 hammer, pull, pull, pull. Now at this point here is where things get a little bit interesting. Unlike the beginning of the lick, you're going to restart it each time with a tap, okay? So we went, that's where we ended, okay? Now, instead of going back up again like that, we're going to go a tap again on the 15th fret, then a pull, then we're going to go hammer, hammer, 10 and 12, and then another tap there, okay? So that kind of gets this rhythmic reset locked in, okay? So that's going to go, okay, one more time. Tap, pull, 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 hammer, hammer, tap, hammer, 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 tap, hammer, 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 tap, descending, pull, 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 tap, pull, 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 tap, pull, 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 tap again, pull, hammer, hammer, tap again. Wah! Then you're gonna go hammer, 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 tap, hammer, 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 tap, pull, 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 tap, pull, 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 tap, pull, 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 tap again, pull, hammer, hammer, tap. That's the thing that makes it kind of flow a lot better, should we say, okay? So here it is, kind of like a mid-tempo. And because I'm lazy, all I do now is I just change what the note is in the right hand. So whereas on the first run of it, it was 15th, 14th, 15th, A, G, and E, we're gonna move up now. The next position is dead easy. It's my favorite one, this. We're gonna go 17th, 17th, 17th. Lovely. And then in the final position, 19th, 19th, 20th fret. It can be a little bit tricky once you get up to the high end because the notes become a little bit naturally more faded, so you got to be sure to be quite accurate with those tapping hands. Tapping hands. Right, no string down for this so people don't think I'm cheating. Well, some fruity notes in there for sure, but that's basically the gist of it. Okay, the last thing that I want to talk about is what actually happens in terms of what note do we add. With the right hand for the intervals, so it goes 5th, major 3rd, 9th tapped there, okay? So in the next position we've got major 6th, 5th, major 3rd, and then in the last box we've got this. Major 7th tapped, major 6th tapped, and then that's the 5th again. If you don't know what intervals are on the instrument and how to find them, let me know if that's something that you'd like to see here. Maybe make a little video on describing how to find them and what their uses are basically and what they mean. If you really like this video and you'd like to see more of it, you can subscribe, you can like, leave a comment, you can buy me a coffee, apparently, link is in the description. Thank you very much for watching and I'll see you in the next one.